Hello boys and girls, it's Mrs. Northeim. I'm preparing this video for you to study for the practical, the final practical for anatomy at Liberty Christian, which is going to be Thursday, May 16th. Let's begin. So these are the external nares or nares on the pig, of course the nostrils. Then we're going to move down into the larynx or pharynx region. On your sheet it's the larynx. Next we're going to move into the windpipe or the trachea, okay? Of course, the esophagus is behind it. And then we've got red and blue colored veins and arteries. The arteries are red and the veins are blue. And that's going to be helpful for you throughout your practical in differentiating between the two. Again, red arteries, veins are blue. So this is my, or the pig's left, what would be carotid artery, okay? That's a carotid artery. This is the other carotid artery. And then, of course, these are the veins, all right? Let's move down into the thoracic section of the pig. Of course, if I open it up, I've got the ribs on the outside, and then I've got the heart on the inside, and we're going to talk about the chambers of the heart. But at the very top of the heart, where the blood supply is, I've got my aorta, or my aortic branch, okay? The very top of the heart. And it's an artery, so it'll be colored red, all right? This is the heart, and then, of course, surrounding the heart, we've dissected off a little here, are my lungs, okay? So these are the lobes of my lungs. So let's take a second and look at the heart. Here's a heart. So of course the red and the blue dye, blue being veins, red being artery. This would be my aorta or my aortic branch. Okay, so this would be the what side of the pig? This would be the right side and this would be the left side of the pig. Okay, so as you look at it, this would be my right A over V atrium. Okay, and this would be the piggy's left atrium. It's opposite of us, okay? Of course, you put it in the pig. And then this would be my right, or the piggy's right ventricle, and the piggy's left ventricle, okay? So those are the 5 things that I'll ask you about on the heart. All right, let's move down into, let's switch pigs here. Let's move down into the abdominal cavity. Of course, separating the abdominal cavity is diaphragm. It assists the lungs and the chest cavity in creating positive and negative pressure, of course, so we can bring air in and have gas exchange, right? Okay, underneath that, and the largest organ that we're going to see is the liver, okay? So the liver is unmistakable. It's in the way of really looking into the intestines, so we're going to have to push it up. And when we look underneath the liver, we see this little bulb-like feature, okay? This is actually the gallbladder, okay? Gallbladder. One of the functions of the liver is to create bile, and the word bile means gall, and so this is the gallbladder. It's often green, but in this case our piggies are a little older, so it's kind of the same color of the liver. But if I pin that, that's the gallbladder. So I'm going to have to lift up the liver, like I said, to get it out of the way. Kind of move down the intestines. And this balloon-like structure here is my stomach. Okay, so this is the stomach here, all right? And I'm going to ask you on your lab the 2 valves on either sides of the stomach, okay? So at the end of the esophagus, where the esophagus meets the stomach, we have one valve that's called the cardiac sphincter. And just as the stomach reaches the lower intestine, we have another valve, and that's called the pyloric sphincter, okay? Underneath the stomach, we have this kind of red chewed gum-like substance. It's sort of green, but it's definitely underneath the stomach. It might be difficult to see in the pig. And that's the pancreas, okay? Again, it looks like chewed gum. And then we have I like to say a finger-like projection off the side of the stomach, and this is our spleen. Okay, our spleen. Now as we move down into the small intestine, of course, we pass the pyloric sphincter, and then the first set of structures that we're going to see is the intertwining mesentery of the small intestine. So I've got a small intestine here dissected out. And the mesentery, of course, is the setup of these veins that are running through the small intestine. That's called mesentery, okay? So after I go from my small intestine, I reach my large intestine, which you can tell the difference in the large intestine. Okay, it's green, it's thicker, it contains feces, right? And it ends up exiting the piggy, okay? So also on this pig, I want to show you, if I've pushed the organs up, I'm probably looking to talk to you about the renal system, the system that the kidneys are a part of, or I'm looking to talk to you about the reproductive system. In this case, we have a female because we have a projection of the urogenital opening. So female, we think eggs, okay? So there are the eggs, the location, production of female gametes, and here are the fallopian tubes or the oviducts, okay? We don't have a really good vantage point of the uterus, so I won't be pinning that here, but that would be underneath the structure here. Okay, so this is a female, the eggs, and then the oviducts. And then back here, you can see two structures. They're behind the sac. Remember, I tell you my favorite word is retroperitoneal, which means behind the peritoneal sac. And our kidneys, just like the piggy's kidneys, are located very close to our spine. So back here are two kidneys. Okay, so if I pin a kidney like that, you'll know, in fact, I'm looking for your left or your right kidney. In this case, that would be the pig's right kidney, okay? And then if we look on here, I've got a red and a red colored, either a vein or an artery. And remember, if it's red, what is it? It's an artery, okay? So this is my umbilical arteries, or there are two. These are my umbilical arteries and one umbilical vein. So if it's blue, it's the umbilical vein. If it's red, it's the umbilical artery. And then between the two umbilical arteries, of course, is my urinary bladder, okay? This is the urinary bladder. Let's move over here on this pig. This shows the urinary, or the vein very well. So we were just talking about that, and this is the artery. This one's actually still attached. Of course, this is the liver, okay? Let's move to the male reproductive system quickly. This is a male because it doesn't have a projection outside of the urogenital opening. And these are one of two testes, okay? Of course, we dissected through the scrotal sac. And then I kind of tell you in class that life is a highway. So that's what I will be pinning if I pull on this tube-like structure called the vas deferens. Of course, that takes you to the ejaculatory duct and down through to the urethra, of course, where sperm and urine leave the male specimen, okay? Let's see. I think that is it. We've talked about the kidney before. I haven't gone over that with you, and I'm not going to dissect it out here, but there's a series of words that you have to be familiar with in the kidney, and that is the renal artery, renal cortex, medulla, pelvis, pyramid, and renal vein. Again, renal artery and vein should be easy, red and blue, right? And I think that's it. I do want to point out that there are two ureters coming from the kidneys going down into the urinary bladder and out the urethra. If I point out a section like this again where the organs are pushed up, you know I'm going to be talking about either the renal system or the reproductive system. In this case, I'm trying to point out right here that this is one of the two ureters. The kidney is, of course, missing, but this is the tuber canal that takes fluid from the kidneys down into the urinary bladder. Okay, that's it, you guys. Good luck.